Alright, so I was originally going to put up a video posting my thoughts on the state of play we got, but I decided to scratch that because what I really just wanted to do is take some time to talk about the latest Last of Us Part 2 trailer we got, because I realized that I haven't really given my thoughts on it other than that I thought it was awesome, obviously, but I wanted to go a little bit deeper into it and just talk about the game and what we expect. I mean, obviously, our expectations are through the roof, and we know Naughty Dog is going to deliver here an absolutely amazing game. But I've been watching this trailer like over and over again because first of all, it's amazing. And I'm just going to have it looping in the background. It's absolutely amazing. And after you watch it like a few times and you really start to take in everything the trailer's showing you, you start to realize that this is a somewhat on-the-nose trailer. And I've seen some people talking about different theories about some potential twists and turns that this game is going to take. Now, what I want to say first and foremost here is that I don't really know what to expect. When I go to play The Last of Us Part 2, I'm not going to go in with any expectation really other than that what I've seen of it looks awesome, and it seems that it's going to be brutal and that there's going to be clearly a very emotional story that's told. But the big reveal with this trailer, there's pretty much two things here that were revealed. Both things were kind of speculated upon but confirmed, or so we think they're confirmed. The first is Ellie's girlfriend, Dina, I think her name is. The trailer makes it seem like she's the one that gets offed pretty early on. You can clearly see in the trailer she's in there's clearly seasons, either that or there's going to be long distance traveling in this game, but there's snow on the ground, and if you listen closely to the trailer, it's basically them going out on what is just a normal run, probably scavenging for resources, and this is, at the camp they have set up, and something goes clearly really wrong here, where they run into a group, and her girlfriend gets captured, and she doesn't, and so she decides to go looking for her, and it doesn't go well. Ellie, that is, she gets overwhelmed, and they, make it seem like they end up killing her girlfriend. And then it kind of flashes to a couple of scenes, which this is the thing that kind of caught me off guard a little bit, and I'm sure that it's going to go one of two ways, where Joel's brother, Tommy, is the one that decided to talk to Ellie, and you can see it briefly in the trailer where he's kind of letting her know, like, you really don't want to do this, you have no idea what you're going up against. And Ellie, is just very headstrong, like, no, I'm going through with this, nothing's going to stop me. And I found it interesting that it wasn't Joel talking to her. Now that makes me think one of two things here, one of three things actually. The first thing it makes me think is, well, Joel already tried talking to her and saying pretty much the same thing, like, no, I'm not, condoning this, you can't do this, you gotta let it go, you're being stupid. I could definitely see him taking that stance. We know how Joel is, and she goes against him, and he's just like, you know what, forget it, you're on your own, I've tried talking sense into you and you're not listening, and he just walks away from it. And then that's why she's talking to Tommy, and he's also pretty much trying to say, like, I think you're making a mistake here. Now there's that. The other theory is that Joel isn't around because he actually left the group. We know that him and his brother in the first game have had some issues, and they tried to work it out, and then by the end they seemingly work it out again, and who knows, maybe something else happened, and Joel was just like, you know what, I'm going to go out on my own, but he's like never too far away, you know what I mean? He just kind of keeps his distance. That's another possibility. I don't think that's I don't want to say that that's not likely, but it just, the trailer doesn't make it seem like that's obvious, right? And the third thing, which I think this is the most interesting part, the most interesting theory, is that Joel is actually already dead and has been dead for quite some time. Now, this is a theory that is not new. It's popped up pretty much ever since the first reveal trailer because everybody thought it was so strange the way Joel was presented. And I have to admit there's something really odd going on here. And I don't mean to dig deeper into this because I know there's some people who get frustrated, like, just take it for what it is, but I can't help it. When I get really interested in games, especially stories in games, I always like to dig a little bit deeper until we finally get there. I mean, I'm a Metal Gear Solid fan, trust me, I'm into this kind of stuff. But the thing that feels like that is just bizarre to me is how, if you think about the reaction to this trailer, right, the big reaction is, there's Joel, he's there, we knew he wasn't a ghost, right, like, he's actually real. And the reason why people are saying this is because they did a good job in the very first reveal trailer, kind of, like, they straight up revealed Joel, but they didn't show him, like, fully. They kind of just kept the camera away from his face, and you just kind of saw mostly a silhouette of him, and you saw him leaning into the doorway, talking to Ellie, and it was just the way he did it. It was just, like, almost too calm, too collected, like, you know what I mean? Like, Ellie sitting there pretty much, you know, shaking, after clearly an intense, brutal battle, and he's just, like, walking in with his gun, like, you know, you sure you're gonna go through with this? And, you know, everybody's just kind of like, wow, you know, like, why are they not showing Joel? And in this, I'm telling you, like, I was watching it, and I keep watching this trailer on loop, and I keep looking at the interaction between Joel and Ellie, and there's just some, again, maybe I'm just looking into it too much, but between how on the nose this trailer is, like, this trailer makes it very clear that this game is going to be one of two things. It is a story simply about revenge and the emotional roller coaster that will ensue because of this, and, you know, just how quickly things can go wrong when you're, you know, you just have a bloodlust. That's the one thing that this trailer conveyed. It's trying to convey that Joel is, you know, it's trying to make us believe that he's alive and well, and that, you know, him and Ellie are going to go on this journey together. That's the big thing, in my opinion, that they tried to convey by revealing Joel in the way they did, where he was kind of like holding her back, came out of nowhere, seemingly, and is basically saying, like, you didn't think I was going to let you do this on your own, did you? And it's just so, I don't know, man. Like, I was just thinking to myself, like, what if this is, like, one of those, like, situations where, like, he's not really there. Like, she is truly alone in this journey because he's been gone for a long time, but basically she sees him there. Like, he exists in her mind, and because she's on this journey alone, and it's absolutely, you know, think about that. Like, think about the world she's in, think about everything she's been through, you know, and she needs that strength. It's like, in her mind, he is still there, guiding her, helping her, when in reality, it's just her the whole time. I mean, would that not make for an absolutely insane twist? Because if you think about it, it would give players what they want. The big thing is people want Joel, right? Like, they want Joel to be part of the story, to be a big part of it and a significant part of it. And if he is basically existing within her mind, but they construct the story to really not make it seem like it's in her mind, like they make us believe, kind of just like, you know, Fight Club, spoilers for Fight Club if you haven't seen it, you know, that, you know, they convince you the whole time, the big reveal leading up to the end is that, like, he was never there. Like, he was gone, you know, like, he just wasn't there. He was in Ellie's mind the entire time. I mean, that would be an insane twist. Now, when it comes to her girlfriend, I mean, I've seen some people, and I've been you know, kind of thinking about this theory myself, where, like, maybe there's a chance that Joel is the one that ends up actually getting killed, and it's not her girlfriend. Like, they clearly, very clearly, again, this is where the trailer is being very on the nose. They very clearly try to make it seem like her girlfriend, Ellie's girlfriend, gets captured. She tries to save her, and it ends up getting her girlfriend killed. Now, what's strange to me about this is, if you think about it, like, why does Ellie not get killed? You know what I mean? Like, there's just so many things here that we don't know. Like, specifically when you see the scene when she's being pushed to the ground, she's clearly looking at somebody next to her, which we assume, again, is her girlfriend, Dina, and she's looking at her, and her girlfriend gets killed, but Ellie doesn't. You know, like, what happens between that time? Like, why doesn't Ellie get killed? And I don't know. My mind's honestly just racing after seeing this trailer, but I love this stuff, man. Like, I love digging into this, because here's the thing. What I want people to understand is, like, even if this trailer was purposely on the nose, like, Naughty Dog constructed it because they want to set up a clear story. Like, listen, this is a story about, you know, hate, about revenge, and it's Ellie's journey. in a quest for revenge, and that's what the story is. It's not anything crazy like Joel is a ghost or in her mind or anything like that. She's in love. The person she loves gets taken from her, and I believe Neil Druckmann was the one who said like this story is basically about how far are you willing to go, to exact what you believe is justice onto the ones that have done you or your loved ones wrong. And everything about it sounds pretty straightforward. And some people are acting like they're a little bit disappointed by this because it's like, well, that just seems too simple for Naughty Dog. But what I will say is this: you need to understand, when you look at The Last of Us 1, there's nothing about that story, like the overall arc of the story, right? Like the actual plot itself, that's original. And I've said this before, that The Last of Us, the first game, its greatest strength is not the uniqueness of its story. It's how the story is told. Just the way everything plays out. It's done so perfectly. It's executed flawlessly, and that is what makes it so great. Because if you think about it, we're not necessarily asking for something new, right? Like in the sense of like, we need a story that's so unique and so out there and so bizarre. It's not that I think anybody's really expecting, because it doesn't really make that much sense for the universe of The Last of Us if you think about it, because the whole idea of this game is it's very grounded, it's very emotional, very, very emotionally grounded in terms of like how people really behave, in certain circumstances, and what you can realistically expect, and everything's very believable, most of it anyway. And that is The Last of Us, its greatest strength. And so this is, I would say, the biggest argument against any of my theories about Joel being like, already dead and he's just existing in Ellie's mind or anything like that, simply because we know that The Last of Us is known to be a very grounded game. There isn't anything like supernatural or, really that, like there aren't really any plot twists that are like that out there, you know what I mean? And so, I don't know. I just wanted to take time to talk about this because it's really been kind of like running rampant in my mind. And something else some people pointed out in the trailer as well is that it seems, at least based off of what we saw, that there's going to be some like time jumps in this game where when you first see Ellie and her girlfriend, she seems a little bit younger than when you see her later in the game, or when she's clearly out there, seeking her revenge for whatever reason. She looks older. And this is something that I also kind of caught as well. And I don't know, to basically end this video, for me, just seeing the way Ellie and Joel interacted, like when they first finally revealed Joel, it just seemed like, I don't understand, like what made the reveal so significant? Is it because we finally see his face, because we finally see him in front of us? You know what I mean? Is it because of the first time we saw him, even though we knew he was going to be part of this game, we didn't get a clear look at him, so therefore the rumors were running wild? But I don't know. What I do know is the game's going to be amazing either way, and I'm not sitting here saying that, take my word for it, Joel's already dead and he's a ghost or he's in Ellie's mind. I'm just saying that it wouldn't surprise me if when we play the game for the first time, there's some insane, like, out of left field just twist that completely deviates itself from the first game, where, yes, it's grounded. I mean, realistically speaking, like, people, when they experience enough psychological damage, right, like, that's a real thing that happens to people. It doesn't necessarily make somebody, completely insane, but it's just, you have to think about the circumstances. Everything we've seen in this trailer, and I know this is going on too long, but I want to end it here. Everything we've seen about The Last of Us 2, it's very clear that Ellie is basically becoming a monster. Like, she is going to go out here and just annihilate anything and everyone in her way, and just has no regard for what's going to happen to her, but she's going to do as much damage as she can. If you think about that, if you were alone in that, or you know what I mean? Like, you might need to do something with your mind. Like, your mind may need to alter and shift to make it so that you can get to that place you need to be to get something like that done, if that's truly your goal. If you guys understand what I'm saying. But I don't know. I'm not expecting to find out that Joel's actually dead. Now, here's the thing. I know I keep saying I'm going to end this, and I don't mean to sound like I'm rushing the video, but I'm trying not to make it a 20-minute video here. something else too we need to bring up is, like, will Joel die in the game in general? If he's alive in the game and he does, meet with Ellie at some point to help her on her journey, is he going to die? Honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I certainly see Joel not making it out alive in this game, because it's set up in such a way where it just seems like it's going to be his time to do something, to make some type of sacrifice potentially, or something like that. Who knows? Maybe it'll be some kind of insane twist where Joel survives, but Ellie's the one that dies, right? Like, everything would come full circle for Joel in that way. You know what I'm saying? But to me, I don't know if that makes sense, because again, like, they're trying to make it, this is Ellie's journey and Ellie's story, to where the first game was more of Joel's story. So if you think about that, if it ended that way, it would then become more of Joel's story than anything else. But I don't know, guys. It's just fun to speculate. I do a lot of speculation about PlayStation 5 hardware and upcoming games and whatnot. So for once, I thought it would be great to just sit down and talk about this new trailer and speculate upon what we saw. I know some people were asking me to do, like, an in-depth analysis, but if I'm being honest, that's not really my thing. I'm more, like, broad thinking, more abstract, more about the story and potential, like, threads that could go down and plot lines. But at this point, I'm going to ask you to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you have a personal theory about the game based off of what we've seen so far? Or do you think that, what we've seen so far is just pretty clear cut? This is what the story is. But the twists, there isn't really going to be a twist. There's just going to be basically gut punch after gut punch of emotional, like an emotional roller coaster ride like the first game was. I will be very interested to see what you guys have to say. Be sure to leave the video a like if you did enjoy it. It really helps it out. Lets me know you guys are enjoying the content. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and if you want, feel free to join my channel and become a member. It's a way for you to support me directly if you really enjoy the content here. Also, hit the bell notification icon and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.